Plaintiff Delilah Neiman says she quit smoking crack cocaine after her father passed away. But she's concerned for her sister, the defendant, who she believes is still using crack. Delilah is suing because she claims she took her sister to a casino not knowing she had pneumonia, and Delilah caught it. Defendant Florence Alexander admits that she used to smoke crack, but insists she's been sober for a year. Florence admits that she had pneumonia when she went to the casino with Delilah, but she insists there were 3,000 other people there who could have infected her.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, back in 2008, I was living with our father and I was his caregiver. He had a terminal cancer, and I was also a drug user, smoking crack cocaine, so it was a very rough lifestyle and the people you deal with, and after Daddy died, I had to make a change, which I did. Good. And I think part of my sister's problem is that same drug, and she's also had a cancer scare, so.
Glad you were able to overcome it.
Plaintiff Delilah Neiman is suing her sister for giving her pneumonia during a trip to the casino, but the defendant insists there were 3,000 other people there who could have infected her.
When's the last time you used?
Back in 2008.
Good. What have you done since then?
Well, I've gotten married.
Okay. Have you tried to help anyone else through that type of addiction?
Well, no, I've kind of separated myself from that world. I don't want to be around it at all.
All right. But you can go and share your story with other people. You don't have to. I'm not saying go around. That, I'm not saying go into the crack houses while they smoke. You can go to some of the drug rehab facilities and say you want to speak about your experience and how you overcame it.
That's a good idea, Judge.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in life. That's what I've been all my adult life. I'm like, hey, I came through that. So I got to tell these other folks, single mothers like my mother, young people like I was, let me tell you how to get through that, because it's rough. So that's what you have to do. Okay. That way you will have redeemed yourself and you would have been a contributing member to society. You smoking crack?
Not anymore, Your Honor.
When you stopped?
About a year. Not as long as her, as she stated.
How you get off of it?
I just, my medication. I'm sick.
Oh, okay. Give me some background. What do you want to know?
Okay, Your Honor. My sister has kind of always like been a traveler and stuff. She was with the carnival.
How you gonna do all this smoking crack?
No, Your Honor.
That's the type of travel. Go ahead.
No, Your Honor. She was traveling with the carnival.
That's how I made a living.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when she got back, she lives with me, and then she stayed with my dad. She was only with my dad like a month, maybe a month and a half before my father passed away. It wasn't like she was the caregiver all alone, because I took care of my husband.
1 month. What else you want me to know?
Yes, and she's a chronic gambler, and she's telling me she got off of crack, but she's still drinking. She can't go nowhere and speak to anybody.
I can have a drink, Florence.
She drinks every night.
Drink.
Delilah, I'm not like you. I'm telling you, Your Honor.
Well, I'm not hurting anybody.
Well, you can't go make a speech to anybody either, sister.
Well, you don't know what I can do, Florence. I've been inspired by Judge Mathis, so I don't think I can do that.
Okay, she's quitting after the show.
I'm not quitting drink.
Right after she leaves the casino.
I didn't say anything to her about drinking.
I'm not doing that.
Anyway, but I mean, if it
happen.
Alcohol is a drug also. So how you
You're
gonna...
right, it is pretty bad. If you're addicted to alcohol, you may as well be addicted to drugs. And because when you're going through withdrawal,
I'm not an alcoholic,
those DTs,
Don't call me that.
I'm just educating folks.
I didn't call you an alcoholic.
I'm just educating folks.
I just said you couldn't smoke.
Because you are kind of minimizing the alcohol use, and it's just, if you're an alcoholic, which I don't suggest, and I don't get that impression, but an alcoholic is just as damaged as a crackhead, because they go through physical withdrawals. Physical withdrawals that bring them to the edge of death. That's why I let Doyle smoke all the weed he wants. You don't get your weed, you're just mad.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, and you don't get your weed, but you don't get your alcohol, you go into withdrawal. Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, my mother passed away tragically in 1975. My brothers and my father raised me from there up to be a woman, and I've always been on my own, and I've always taken care of myself.
All right.
No
you
sisters.
always pay for your own crack?
Yes, I did. Either somebody else did.
Huh?
Either I did or I got somebody else to
Well,
pay
then
for it,
you
Your
haven't
Honor.
always taken care of yourself.
Well,
And your responsibilities.
with the bills.
Plaintiff Delilah Neiman is suing her sister for giving her pneumonia during a trip to the casino. But the defendant insists there were 3,000 other people there who could have infected her.
Go ahead, let's get to these medical bills.
Yeah.
Well, I had been on something like casino probation because I had been going to Tampa, and he said I was leaving him home alone so often, so he said I couldn't go.
Tampa has casino?
It's about
The Hard Rock.
Yeah, the Hard Rock. It's I think the fifth largest
No
in the
wonder all
world.
my relatives from Tampa calling me about loans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spending all that money in the casinos. Go
She'll
ahead.
be calling you after the show.
Just kidding. None of my relatives in Tampa has ever called me to ask for a dime. Let me make that clear. And I have a bunch of them there. These crooks in Detroit. That's always asking me. But go ahead. You were spending your money at the casino in Tampa.
Anyway, so I had to stay away for a while, and her birthday came up, so she was my excuse to get back to the
That's
casino.
for sure.
And I didn't know that she had still had pneumonia. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken her. And I got pneumonia from that trip to the casino.
And you want to sue her for the medical bills.
Yes, it's
You're
like 20
suggesting that you contracted it from her.
I did.
And there was 3,000 other people at the casino touching buttons and going. I had my mask on, Your Honor, because I have had chemo.
You had the mask
I had
on?
my mask on. I'm protecting myself from people, not, you know what I mean, to give, keep from giving it to her, to keep anybody from giving me anything.
So you don't care about what they get?
At all. Lord, I'm just saying.
Let me see your medical bills.
Unbelievable.
Because with this attitude, ma'am, I'm convinced that you did it.
And they had an epidemic in Orlando at the time. Everybody had it.
Just coincidence that you had it and your sister who you rolled
No,
there
I
with.
didn't have it. I didn't go into the hospital until after we got back.
Oh, I
She didn't-
called the medical records, and it was within 3 days of her last visit to the hospital for
Your
the
Honor,
pneumonia.
that is not the truth.
They told me that.
That is not the truth because I had just been to Leesburg.
You have
Delilah.
the dates of your hospitalization.
No, I don't have it on here. Do you have the dates, Delilah?
It was the 13th, and it says you have to allow at least 48 hours after you start getting...
Ma'am, I believe it's more than a coincidence, and you
Starting
have
to get
expressed
treatment.
Your
your...
Honor, she goes gambling. That was her excuse
That
to
was
get
the first
to the place.
time
Do you
I
know
don't-
anything about an epidemic that was occurring in that area?
No, sir.
Do you have any evidence that there was an
what-
epidemic during that time?
No.
Newspaper article.
No, sir.
Was it in the news?
Yes, it was in the
It was
news.
in the news. All right, well, I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
All right.
Your
If there was an
Honor.
epidemic, you're off the hook.
Between January and February. My birthday is the
Of
20th.
13. All right, well, we'll see. If there was an epidemic of pneumonia during that time, you're off the hook.
All
If
right.
not, you're in trouble.
Okay.
Be right back.
All right.
Plaintiff Delilah Neiman is suing her sister for giving her pneumonia during a trip to the casino. But the defendant insists there were 3,000 other people there who could have infected her.
All right, ladies. You're suing your sister once again, alleging she owes you for all the medical bills you incurred as a result of contracting pneumonia. She had pneumonia, admittedly, during the time you all were going out together. Her defense was there was an epidemic. That epidemic was being broadcast on television and the newspapers. Well, fact is, there was an epidemic, ma'am. January 11th, 2013, the Orlando Sentinel says there was an epidemic of the flu.
I live...
Flu!
Oh,
Flu!
oh, I didn't hear right. I didn't hear right.
So
Told you.
he says the
It's
same
a high
thing?
stakes game when you come in here.
Okay.
High stakes.
Okay, Your Honor.
She
so I got to
wins.
pay her?
You said it was an epidemic of pneumonia, and instead it was an epidemic of the flu. You were close, but no cigar.
Well, I'm not
2,513 is your judgment. Have a good day.
Oh, man. Delilah, I just worded it wrong. I'm sorry I gave you the pneumonia. I didn't mean to do it on purpose, but I'm ready to go back to the Hard Rock.
Okay, it's a deal.
You see what happens when you
Well,
lie?
flu and pneumonia.
I didn't lie. I
Well,
just.
you told her it was.
Well, I didn't know I was a doctor. All right, Albert, you done did it, pal.
Did someone vandalize your car and you don't know what to do about it? If so, go to my website, askjudgemathis.com, and tell me about it.